So you want a character the whole time, right?
Yeah, whatever you think. Anything over the top. Maybe Donald Duck. Should we start? Now I'm gonna have to cough.
This is.
I am so Daniel. I'm so choked up about this guest. Someone I've known forever, and somehow we're both still alive. And he's brilliant. He helped so many comics, including me, at Off the Wall in Harvard Square in Boston. No,
Who?
you son of a bitch.
Oh, me.
Ron Lynch. Without further ado, here he is.
Oh,
The incomparable.
I was a big help.
Ron
You're
Lynch.
welcome.
Yay.
Hi.
Hi.
I didn't mean. Are we talking already?
Yeah.
This
Oh.
is it.
So it was.
So how did this podcast come about?
We decided the only way we could become friends is if we started a podcast and tried to monetize it and make it our career.
Well, that's great. Well, it's just thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having us.
Ron was off the wall in Harvard Square.
It was in Central Square,
Oh, okay.
which is a little.
That's where we met.
Which is a little further from Harvard Square. You were going to Emerson at the time.
Mm-hmm. And we, Ron had the coolest place where everybody wanted to perform. And that was really it was like 2 stories.
Well, here's the weird thing. That was at midnight as well. As
You son of a bitch. That's when I used to be able to stay awake. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Was it midnight?
it was at midnight. Yeah, because
Wow.
it was after the movies. They
Oh.
would show movies, and then they gave me the Saturday night. I met the guy at a party,
Yeah.
and he said, "What do you do?" I said, "Well, I do some comedy and stuff." And I said, "We were just thinking about what if we had comedy?"
Mhm.
I said, "Well, why not?"
Mhm.
And I said, "What time is it available?" And he went, "Well, Saturday at midnight. Is that ridiculous?" And I went, "Of course it is." Which is what I'm still doing to this day.
I know. You live by night, Ron.
I do live by night.
You have a show tomorrow, or called tomorrow.
It's called tomorrow.
Called
right?
tomorrow. Excuse me. It's been for 20 years.
20 years this June.
Am I wrong, or is that
We
correct?
have a big anniversary show on June 1st,
Mhm.
which Laura's doing.
Fantastic. We'll have a party afterwards.
Did Laura know that?
No.
Okay.
No, that gives me some time to cancel.
But we do need a tally. We need.
No, I want to do it. Are you kidding? Okay.
We need a tally for how many times Ron Lynch's name has been brought up on our podcast from comedians citing you.
You're beloved.
For like early help. Yeah.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
I love the good people work that they don't get paid for.
So you guys met back then doing
Yeah.
his show?
Yeah. Yeah. Right? Or was it before that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
We met in the Boston comedy community.
Yeah.
It could have been any show
Right.
that we met at. It really had to be either the Comedy Connection or Off the Wall. Yeah.
Yeah. We were talking to Greg Fitzsimmons about Robin Horton.
Uh-huh.
Remember, like he was Daniel. He was a show booker at the Catch a Rising Star there, and he would, after each comic, got off stage, like he'd kind of give him a talk about what he thought they should change,
no.
or I don't know what his philosophy on comedy.
Ugh.
Mhm.
And
Was it welcome?
No,
Yeah. That
but you
sounds-
kind of had to.
The new people, why not? But yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, he was doing that to everybody. And I think I would just go, oh, huh, and kind of walk away.
Yeah.
So I would take it with a grain of salt. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
There was a club owner in Austin who would do that, and I was new, and I remember one time because I was the host.
Yeah.
And I made some joke about being on a plane crash because the plane had just crashed that week, and so I thought, why not be topical? And he did pull me. So I was like, maybe save the plane crash shit for when you're not the host. And I remember being really like, what do you know? But of course he's right. I was like, yeah, no one wants to hear that fucking shit where you're like, and now welcome
Yeah.
Laura Kightlinger. You're like, thanks. How many people died on that plane, you asshole?
Ah, man.
Yeah, but I don't know. I never like unsolicited. Do you like when someone gives you a tag? Do you think that's like a, you know what I mean? When someone wants to like,
add your material?
yeah.
Well,
How does that make you feel?
I don't think that ever happened.
What does
I
that
don't
make?
mind. I think I've given people tags, or
Yeah, well, you're funny.
well, thank you.
I don't like when people give me something that's not even amusing. I think it's an intrusion, sort of.
Yeah. I guess it doesn't bother me because I can't remember anything. If somebody does say, I'll go, oh, okay, and then I won't
It's
remember it
gone.
anyway. Yeah.
How did you start stand up? What got you into
How did I
comedy?
start?
Yeah.
I was in the dressing room, and then I would hear my name.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
And walk slowly to the
Yeah.
stage.
No.
I don't know. I really I don't know. I mean, I started out as a geology guy, and then I switched over to theater.
And this is in
New
New Jersey, right?
New York, upstate New York.
Upstate New York.
Geologically speaking.
Geologically speaking, upstate New York.
Wait,
we're-
Ron, Rochester? Where in upstate New York?
I'll tell you. Ask me the question, then I'll tell you where.
Okay, where in upstate New York? I'm sorry.
Started in Potsdam,
Oh, I
New
wanted to
York,
remember.
which is all the way at the top of New York State, 30 below, occasionally, and then went to Binghamton, upstate New York, which is near Syracuse.
Sure.
If you've heard of that.
I know the SUNY schools. I was crawling out of Fredonia State for a few months.
yeah, Fredonia, been there, yeah.
Yeah.
We did a theater thing there, and Kozlowski's back in Cortland,
Oh, right. I know.
yeah, and he's got a space. He built a space.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great.
We're not going out there to do a show, though.
You're from
I'm from Long Island, Queens, Long Island, and speaking of geology, Long Island is a glacial moraine that was just deposited there. So all of Long Island is not even connected to the United States in
What?
a way. There's no bedrock.
what is a moraine?
Moraine is
Moraine, excuse
the land that a glacier will push in front of it as it's coming down, and it kind of stopped where Long Island is and dropped off Long Island.
Wild.
Yeah, pretty wild.
I always wanted to go, like, I want to go to, like, Antarctica or
Me
the
too.
Arctic where they're, like, drilling into the deep. I find that fascinating.
Right. Oh, yeah.
But, like, the only way to get there is you have to be, like, on a lesbian cruise or whatever to get there.
Well, did,
Yes.
did the moraine happen? And not that I'm a believer in climate change. Did the, was it because of climate change, basically?
Well,
the glaciers melting and all that?
if you call an ice age and then now not an ice age, it is a climate change. But there was an ice age where ice was constantly coming down. It wasn't just one time the ice came down. It came down many times. And,
Pre-cars.
yeah. And the animals ran and some of them got away. But yeah, there's been an ice age several times.
Have you seen that there's a video in Greenland? It's the largest calving ever caught on tape, where the whole glacier just breaks. It's like all of Lower Manhattan just goes and it just smashes. Have you seen that?
No.
It's breathtaking.
No. Whoa.
These two scientists have been watching it. Their cameras are on for like 20 days or something, and they're actually on the phone with their boss. They're like, nothing's happening, and then one little thing just starts like, and then
Slid
the
off.
whole motherfucker starts like,
Whoa.
it's massive though. It's like
Wow.
it's really 3 times the size of like what Manhattan would be, the buildings and stuff.
Huh.
But it's breathtaking, and it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
and you imagine like an ice age where all that shit was coming out and carving like Great Lakes and everything.
There will be another ice age in probably about 10,000, 20,000 years.
Hmm. They say that the slowing of the ocean currents due to global warming would, they think, global warming would bring about an ice age.
But we're gonna stop global warming on this podcast.
I hope so. I really hope
so.
so.
That's
Ron.
actually the real mission. You asked us why
Yeah.
we started this podcast. We're trying
Some
to
people
save the
may
world.
hear this section of it or something, and they may
Stop
actually go,
driving their
"Yeah, I'm
car."
gonna do something."
I'm gonna stop driving my car.
Uh-huh. Wow, wouldn't that be? That would be amazing.
What was your interest in geology? Just as like a student?
It went from high school. I was president of the Bethpage Mineralogical and Speleological Society.
You must have gotten laid non-stop.
Well, there was a stop, but now you may ask, what is speleological?
That was my question.
I wasn't even curious.
That is it's cave hunting. What? Which is hilarious because on Long Island there's absolutely no caves.
Of course.
Absolutely. And we're in the middle of Long Island. And we all took a trip. I think there were 5 of us, all took a trip to this cave hunting group on Long Island. And I think we just couldn't stop laughing because why are you here? They would travel. They would travel to caves.
So what did you do? Just say, okay, I guess there aren't any here.
There's just a meeting.
We just tacked it onto the name and it sounded pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Say the word again.
Speleological.
Speleological.
A spelunker
Oh,
is somebody
spelunking.
spelunking is cave hunting.
Where on earth are the most caves?
So far, the best podcast I've ever done. Where or what?
Where are the most caves?
The most caves? The biggest caves, there's a cave, upstate New York has Carlsbad Caverns. Where is
Oh,
that? That's in Mexico.
Oh.
In Mexico or New Mexico?
New.
New Mexico. They didn't see me look away, did they?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, New Mexico has really large caverns, and upstate New York had some. There has to be bedrock, and there has to be erosion due to water.
Would this be better if we were stoned? or are we stoned?
Yeah,
That's why I'm fascinated.
Of course, it'd be better. So there's stalactites
And stalagmites.
Yes, and what's the difference?
One is a bug. Right?
Incorrect.
Okay.
Any idea?
One comes from above and one comes from below.
Do you know which one is which?
Stalactite, stalagmite? Or
I
the
think
words?
the stalagmite.
Stalactite.
It's. I think stalactite comes from the
Stalactite is this.
I think
Tight from top, mite from below.
The clue is the C and the G.
There's this.
The C comes from the ceiling. The stalactite.
Oh.
we were right.
Stalagmite. No, you were wrong.
Oh, I thought I said stalactite comes from above.
You were wrong. I was right.
No, stalactite is from above. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what you said.
Oh, that's so we were right.
Yeah.
Because I remember.
See, the problem is
I kind of remember.
We'll be right back after this.
A tiny flash, like from a science class, of them all coming down and calling that stalactites.
Right.
That's
Right.
the only reason.
That's one of the many things they ingrain in you in teaching.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that Werner Herzog movie, Cave of Forgotten Dreams?
What? No.
Sounds incredible.
They explore the Chauvet Cove. You haven't seen that?
No.
With the cave drawings and
I
everything?
love Herzog.
Oh my God, you have to watch this movie. It was
no.
breathtaking.
Wow.
It's okay, so it's in France. These three like hikers discovered a vent in the hill and they excavated it, and it's this unexplored cave with these preserved drawings from 30,000 years ago because 20,000 years ago the cave shelf collapsed and preserved everything in there. So there's cave bears, which are extinct, and their skulls.
Oh, I know of the film. I haven't seen it.
Yes, you need to see it because the skulls are like crystallized, so they look like marbly and magic. And there'll be like a footprint from a human and a footprint from like a wolf, and they don't know if they happened within like hours of each other
together.
or 500. But it's breathtaking, like all.
Damn.
But really,
I want to see that.
The geological things that happen inside the cave because of it being closed off and preserved and everything. Because then they closed it off again. They took all these pictures and they mapped it out, and then they won't let humans in because we ruin everything with our breath and just general personalities.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right. When did you come to the West Coast?
Wait, can't we dedicate this whole podcast to
Rock
hunting?
Yeah.
How about to Werner?
When did you come to the West Coast?
I came out here in '89. I went to San Francisco. I was in New York. I was going to stay there for a while, and they lured me to the San Francisco Comedy Competition, which is the evilest thing on earth.
Why?
I don't know. It's just easy to say that. It's a competition of comedy where usually the guy with the guitar, and with my day, would win.
Sure.
Because people would go, that's talent.
Yeah.
And they're changing a song. They had taking a real song and making it funny.
But also, and I think that a lot of those competitions were whoever was voting usually knew somebody in the contest, right?
It's rigged. It's an inside job.
Yeah, like whoever was on the committee.
Austin has one. It's called The Funniest Person in Austin, and people love it, and lots of people compete. And Austin has used to have a wide variety of people, just a huge spectrum of all kinds of people coming in. But hands down, every single time, it was some straight white guy that would win every single time. And so you just watch it get chiseled down from all this diversity to the same, just basic. It was very bland. Everybody won. No disrespect.
I would come in. It was I think 20 people in my half. I think it was they divided the 40 people in half, and I came in I think 17 a lot. And one night I came in fourth. And that's how ridiculous it was. Because it's really up to these three judges who are deciding who the funniest people are.
Right.
And some of them are smart.
I'm starting to think that awards are kind of bullshit. Excuse me. I think awards are kind of bullshit across the board.
Yeah.
I think that I mean, especially here, like we don't really notice what's going on in the world, and it's all about. But we always have time to celebrate ourselves, and reward ourselves.
And there aren't that many award shows.
Well, how about that? There's a Mark Twain. I believe that people don't know that Mark Twain was a writer. And Lorne Michaels is on the committee for the Mark Twain Awards, and he won one.
Anyway, comedy competitions are really just to make money for a couple of people.
Sure. But is that what anchored you in SF up there in the Bay Area, or that was just?
I said I really can't afford to come out, and he said, "All right, I'll give you a week at a club before that. I'll pay for your trip." So he gave me a week featuring at the Walnut Creek Punchline, which was actually a pretty good club. Mm-hmm. It's a very rich town, but they had a pretty good sense of humor. It's closed now. So I did a week of paid work to kind of pay for the trip. Really, not really, but and then
do you have any receipts? Christ, what are you talking about? I'm so goddamn bored.
Are you bored? Do we need a game? What do you want to play, Laura?
I'm using this on my taxes, if you don't mind. When does this come out?
Maybe never if Laura's this bored.
I'm just being
Is
mean.
it the eclipse? Is that what
I don't
messed
know.
with you?
I'm really out of sorts today. I've got to be mean. No. But
it messed up all your water. That's what it is.
The eclipse happened today, and I think it affects all animals except humans.
Really?
Yeah.
No, the elephants were going nuts at the zoo. Did you hear that?
Oh,
they were like trumpeting and shit.
Oh no.
Yeah, and then everywhere left and right, white people were looking in the sky. You didn't see that?
No, white people were looking up.
We're animals.
Right.
We're the worst. You're going up there to host, what is it? The silent film?
Oh, I'm going to San Francisco this week to host the San Francisco Silent Film Festival, which has been going on for eons.
And okay.
Wow, that sounds great.
Have you been hosting it for eons?
I won't say hosting. I beg your pardon. I'm in the program as the voice of the Silent Film Festival. I do all the announcing. I bring people on the stage.
Is that what a host does?
I get the audience involved in the thing a little bit, but they don't see me. I'm sitting at a table in the back on a microphone.
Do you remember Big Tex at the State Fair of Texas? This huge statue of this stupid cowboy that's waving.
Oh, yeah, I know who that is.
Big Tex.
Yeah.
I forget how
I went out with that guy.
No, I forget. At some point, he held a record for being the tallest, whatever, cowboy. And then there's a live person in a booth separate from the structure of the statue that's going, "Welcome to Texas," and like, "Howdy," and saying all these bullshit lines. So then,
you wanted that job.
Oh, I would kill for that job. I just wanted to be the guy who yanked the thing that moved the arm. That's what I wanted. But years ago, Big Tex caught fire. And I think he's like fiberglass or something, so he went up. But the dude in the booth did not know that he was on fire. So while Big Tex is like this and engulfed in flames, the person's like going, "Howdy, y'all. Welcome to Texas. Like, step right up." Meanwhile, he's fucking hell on earth.
Because he could not see it?
He couldn't see it or had not been alerted yet that it was.
Or he was still reading the script.
Yeah, he was just doing his thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, it's like in Ohio, they had this thing called it Touchdown Jesus. This is in Dayton, Ohio, which is a horrible place. But it was off the side of the highway, and a church had it in their yard, which was I want to say the biggest statue of Jesus in like North America or some shit. One of those psycho facts. But all it was thorn crown Jesus, tears this, and two hands coming out of the ground. So you had this much of the Jesus, right? Yeah. And hands coming out of the ground that were like 2 stories tall. Whoa. But it looked like he was saying like touchdown. So they called him Touchdown Jesus.
Oh.
And that was struck by lightning.
Jeez.
And burned to the ground.
Wow.
Can you imagine driving down the highway and you see like Jesus like engulfed in flames as you're...
Wow.
That seems like more than anything that would be like a, changing of life.
Like make you a believer or never believe again? Yeah.
Yeah, or just like... That's what I mean. I wish things were more like that. Like, oh, that's when I knew.
I want to see.
I couldn't work at Costco anymore.
When I saw a religious structure struck by lightning. Yeah, I'm not going into CVS today. This job.
Ron, have you ever stormed out of anything?
No, but I was fired from the Coop, which is the.
Oh shit! Yeah, I remember this. I was trying to get a job there.
The Harvard MIT. I worked at the MIT one. I was the record store manager / contingent. Oh, no. I was only the record store manager when I had that job. And I was making more money for that record department than they've ever made. I used to go down to the Harvard store to get my records a day ahead of time.
Oh.
And I did all the paperwork, all the receiving and all that crap. And I got a letter saying to visit with the manager of the store. And I went in and he went, Ron, it just seems like your attitude about the store has changed a lot. And I'm really sorry. They want me to let you go. And he was really nice. And he knew I was making money for the store.
Yeah.
But they were letting me go because I wasn't going to classes for things that I knew already, like how to receive stuff.
What?
I wouldn't go to the class because I knew everything. And they had classes at the, so instead I would just go downstairs to the record department and get my records and then put them in a box and have them sent to my store.
Wait, did you go to MIT?
Did not go to MIT. I lived right nearby though.
Okay.
But they wanted you to go to these classes as part of the working at the coop.
In order for me to become a manager in a way,
Oh,
you know,
my
in
God.
order for me to become move up the ladder at the coop.
Oh,
and I
wow.
had no desire for that. So
Are you a musician?
I can play. Yes, I am.
Yeah, he plays. He's amazing. He plays drums.
You do?
Yeah.
Laura has drums.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
I haven't.
Oh, you have a drum room, of course, in this house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a piano player, but what records were you buying back then?
Wasn't buying. These are my
Oh,
this
for
is
the
for
store.
my department. Yeah, for my
Yeah.
record department at the other store. So I was actually working
Oh.
for the store.
See, in my
that-
brain, I would be like purchasing things for myself.
Oh, well, back on that topic, since I ran the department, I had a reel-to-reel at the time. And this was 1952, I think. And no, why did you react? Nobody
Because we
reacted to that.
believed you.
I know. That's
I
really
was like,
sad.
wait a minute.
And I had a reel-to-reel, and I would bring records home, record them, and then bring them back and check them and get the money back.
Genius.
Wow.
Yes. In the
I
old
didn't
days,
do it a lot, but I did it enough where I felt good.
yeah. The day that I discovered putting two VCRs together to duplicate, you'd rent the movie and then you'd record it onto the tape.
Yeah.
My family was astonished. That was the closest I ever came to going to college. Was that day
Right.
putting two RCA cables into
Did
a
you
fucking
record it
VCR.
high quality on the other one?
That was a
You
rough.
had
You had to learn
Yeah.
that lesson because it would be too blurry and all that.
Yeah.
But sometimes you try to get 3 movies on one tape. That was the.
I have 1 million videotapes.
You still do?
Yeah.
Do you have a VCR?
I have filled 3 bags of garbage videotapes.
Yeah.
But I have been kind of going through ones that I don't even know what's on them.
Amazing.
And the best thing about them is the commercials and announcements of things,
Yeah.
and people that aren't around anymore doing things.
Yeah.
And there's
Do you remember? I'm sorry to interrupt, but do you remember Robert Conrad knocked his battery off my shoulder?
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I always thought, what a dick! I want to do that. I want to knock.
That was in our act, I think, somewhere.
Really?
Yeah.
I want to knock something off his. Well, anyway.
We had a bunch of VHSs from being kids. My parents would record cartoons, right? And for us to watch later. And in some cases, my mom would just push record and then walk away. So it'd be one episode of
6
Scooby.
hours.
Yeah, but then the rest of the afternoon would be on the tape. And it would be there's a Sesame Street where they've divided the screen into quarters and they're singing the alphabet song. And in these two, there's Muppets. And in these two, it's Ralph Nader and Barbara Walters. And it's what the f-? And they're going A, B, C, D. But then it was part of the what is it, 1986? The sesquicentennial, or what was that bullshit? Or 85? Is that what it's called? Texas. Sesquicentennial, right? So there's all these commercials for that. I don't know. It was just brilliant. It was one afternoon in North Texas in 1987. The local news, all that shit. I regret giving up those VHSs because they were so good. There's a milk commercial that's to an Adam Ant song.
Oh man.
They're going da-dun.
Oh, yeah.
Dun-dun,
Yeah, stuff like that pops
dun-dun.
up all the time. It's great. The sad thing is you have to watch a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm presently moving out of my apartment where the tapes are, and I'll just stick one in while I'm doing everything and let it play.
You're gonna move into your wife's house?
That is correct. I think that would be wise.
Yeah. She's letting you do that?
Oh, yeah.
Shelley is so smart. I'm surprised she would agree to that.
No,
Is there a no tape clause? Do you have
She has a plan with me. I don't have to worry about anything in my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's letting you. I mean, I know that you're married, but you're
Yeah.
going to live together.
I thought we should,
Okay.
since there's like money things and
Sure. Why not?
Yeah.
That's great though. Where are you gonna? Where are you guys
that's
now?
in a town called Glendale.
Oh God. Okay. So you're not that
California.
far away.
No,
Okay.
not at all.
Have you gone to the new theater? I haven't gone to the Quentin Tarantino redone theater here.
The Vista?
Yeah.
Over there? No, not
Have you?
yet.
The Vista I have not been to.
Damn it! I want to go there.
I've been to the Cinematheque. Well, I went to the Egyptian,
Oh, okay.
and that's a little sad.
Why is
But
it?
the saddest thing is, getting back to the silent film thing, is that we always did the silent films at the Castro Theater in San Francisco.
Oh.
Somebody bought the Castro Theater and they're gutting it.
Oh
And they're
shit.
taking all the seats out and they're making it into like a music club,
Oh.
which is sad because it's really the only big old theater in San Francisco.
Oh, that sucks.
Also, Castro's just legendary.
It's
just generally
legendary. And
speaking,
it's San Francisco, you know.
Yeah.
Yep, yep.
So some asshole is now. Yeah. So anyway, they are doing it at the Palace of Fine Arts this week.
But that's a beautiful place.
And it's a great place.
That-
I don't know what
yeah.
the theater's like, but they were saying we don't know where to put you. There's no because I was at a table at the back of the audience,
Uh-huh.
but there's no area like back there.
Yeah.
So she
You've
said,
been. I love that spot though.
I don't know what the theater looks like. I don't think.
It's there. It's like it's a wide audience like this. It doesn't go very deep. And then there's no aisle in the middle. So if you want to get out of your seat, you have to go all the way to the edge and
Wow.
go up. So
Really?
people are like fixed in at least the place we performed in. But it's
Wow.
beautiful. I think people really respond just to the energy.
Well, it's got to
of
be the
building.
same place, I would think. Palace
yeah.
of Fine Arts.
Yeah, yeah. We're at the Texas Theater, whatever, Friday, which is the theater that they busted Lee Harvey Oswald in.
Oh my God.
And they've kept, now it's a performance space, not a movie theater. But I worked at a hamburger place in Austin, Texas, where the manager's uncle was the person who called the cops
Wow.
to say someone just ran into our theater without paying for a ticket. And
Wow.
it was fucking Lee Harvey.
Yeah.
Huh.
I know, I love that. She's also the person who told me that ecstasy was free in Dallas, and
So you can't really trust what she's saying.
no, she was like she was like you don't. She was telling me she's like you don't even know how good we had it, but she also her mouth would stick like this from how much blow she'd rubbed into her gums over the years. She had like a Coke thing.
Wow.
That reminds me of the foam of of what's his name? Spalding Gray. Remember when he did Swimming to Cambodia and he had all the foam on both sides of his mouth?
Ew.
That was from Coke.
What?
Wow. I don't know.
Spalding Gray? Yeah.
I know Spalding Gray, but I don't know anything about
Well,
it.
I couldn't even watch it because I was like, oh my God, he's
Oh,
foaming.
that's weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a Mae West interview where I can't listen to her because she's playing with her dentures the
Oh,
whole time.
no.
She's like talking and also. Have you seen the Dick Cavett interview? Have you seen that?
Oh.
She's stunning because she doesn't
Yeah.
miss a beat. She's so fucking smart.
Yeah.
But she's my other favorite thing. She has like a wig on, and then on top of that, another wig, which is one of my favorite
Yeah.
Oh my
like
God.
looks.
The hat wig.
Well, then Joan Rivers' joke about Joan Collins is she makes a bunch of rude jokes about her, and she goes, "I'm just kidding. I love any woman who wears a wig and then a hat." That's such a great line.
Oh.
But yeah, watch the Dick Cavett interview of Mae West, which unfortunately is only like 10
I'm
minutes.
sure I've
I
seen it.
love Dick
Yeah.
Cavett.
But she's just the whole time she's playing with her dentures.
Yeah.
You can hear him jostling around. I love Dick Cavett.
Yeah.
Was he a queen or no? He's just very famous.
No. I don't think so. I think he's married a couple
He's
times.
around in New York too. I mean,
Yeah.
I know
He's out and
people.
about.
Eddie Brill met him and hung out with him a little bit.
What? Have you ever met him?
No.
Who are famous people you've met that like
Oh, we don't have
you were
time.
What? But that you were like in awe of? Because I'm sure you've met zillions, but like who took your breath? Who were you shocked with or surprised?
Well, somebody that I got excited about was, we've been doing the show forever, and Craig and I were down to hosting the thing, and this guy had a show at the Steve Allen, I think, as well, or with his group. And which you know why I said that in a second, but he was just laughing in like the second row, just laughing his head off. So I talked to him after that show, and I said, "Would you ever want to like co-host?" Because Craig wasn't hosting anymore, and I was going to have him co-host with me. And he went, "Yeah, sure." And it was Scott Thompson. From Kids on the Hall.
He's been on our show.
And I co-hosted with him, and we were backstage, and he goes, "All right, I want to do this kind of bit, and how do we get into that character for me and everything?" I said, "Well, you're just co-hosting. We're not setting anything up. But
He wanted to do Buddy Cole?
I could just say no. Somebody I can't think of what it was, but let's say it was Buddy Cole. I would just go, hey, have you seen Buddy Cole lately? And he went, oh, okay, we could do that. And totally got the theory, which was no bits, just talking and goofing around. And backstage were a pile of posters, maybe 20 of them, and the voting was over, but it was vote no on something, and it was I think it was like a gay addendum or something, and it was important, and so I had a copy of it just stuck by the door, and somebody handed it to me. I went, "Have you seen this?" And he went, "Why are those posters in the back room?" And he just went off.
Oh, no.
And afterwards, he just went, "Oh, I got it. I figured out what you wanted." It was so funny. He was the best ever. He's
He's
We're
brilliant.
still in touch. Yeah.
I love Scott Thompson.
He's great. Yeah.
The one time I'd met him once, and then we were on a show, happened to be on a show together, and like a few months later, and it was when he walked over and goes, "Hi, Daniel, how's it going?" And I was like, "I can't believe you just said my name. Like, that's so nuts." But he was on a Zoom show during COVID, right? And so we had a long phone call about what he was going to say. He was very particular, saying he wanted to make sure everything was like, he knew where we were going. And then when we got on, didn't do a lick of it. He went in this total different direction and killed, right? It was so funny. But I remember looking at this huge piece of paper. I was like, we talked for an hour and 45 minutes. We didn't say any of this shit. But he's so
As a performer,
brilliant.
I think it's you want to make sure you have something to go to. And then if you don't have to go there, you're better off.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's
The
a
crowd
backup.
it's all up to the crowd. I rely on the crowd way too much.
Yeah?
Sometimes. If the crowd is not with me at all,
Yeah.
then I have a hard time.
Sure.
Sometimes. I mean, it's mental. It's mental too. But you could have something prepared. I think now, if I go to the club in Austin, I'm going to know exactly what I'm doing.
Sure.
But you have such a following here too. Like I think the audiences all know, it's kind of an established thing, the midnight show.
Yeah,
The
describe
Tomorrow
tomorrow.
Show.
They're pretty good.
Describe it. The Tomorrow Show. It's very unique, I think.
The Tomorrow Show is a show that the theater has to be behind me, otherwise I'm going to be broke after 3 shows because they have a minimum that the theater needs to get. And my show, the audience is really all over the map. Not all over the map. It's always less than 30, I would say, until we have like an anniversary show or something. And then it sells out because I have famous people on the show. But I don't do that on Saturday. I usually just put talented people on the show. I have and have a good time. I want to make sure it's a good time. And I'm afraid to invite somebody pretty important to come to the show. And if I only have 8 to 9 people show up or something, it doesn't matter to them. But those 8 or 9 people are always great at this show. It's always fun. It's loose. It's very low pressure. So people try a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a thing in comedy now, and I'm telling people that, not you two, but I mean, it's called clown, not clowning, but clown.
Correct. Yes.
And it should be clowning because that's a word.
Yeah.
Clown is a word too, but anyway. And that's also people
Are you
that I have
for
on the
or
show.
against
Are you pro clown?
clown?
It's funny. I think I'm for it totally.
Do you like Anna Sarangina, or do you like Natalie Palmitas, Christina?
Yeah, I know all
Catherine?
that.
Yeah,
they
they're
do my
all.
show. Yeah,
they're all clown or clown adjacent.
Yeah.
What's Chad's last name?
Chad Damiani.
That guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a clown movement or clown scene.
And part of the scene is functioning because of Chad. I mean, Chad
Yes.
keeps it going, and
Agreed.
Chad teaches, and he knows what should happen, so he'll have shows too.
So you do bits that are over the top.
There's no restrictions. I mean, people have been doing it already for years, but it's more off the top of your head and more crazy. A clown usually has a bit that they're doing, and they're dressed as a clown. Clown people don't see. It doesn't make any sense having a same word, but people that do clown don't. If anything, they just dress in comfortable clothes so they can.
I just feel like it's a lot of screaming.
Is it spoken? You're allowed to talk or no?
Some are spoken. Yeah, they do a silent clown thing too at the clubhouse over in that parking lot mall place.
Because I feel like some of this stuff is what I was at this show and I felt like it's all like what I call volume comics, like people like screaming at the audience, and I don't know, I've never liked that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
You need some more mime acts going on.
No, but just being really loud and come on, you guys, that kind of shit. And I'm just like,
you're forcing the energy of people to bring it back.
Yeah, and you're like just screaming at people until they.
If you're aggressive enough, the audience will get up. Yeah. It's like the theory.
Yeah.
People that are good at it can take one thing and run with it.
Yeah.
And do a full 10 minutes of that, and the audience is kind of laughing the whole time. You know.
So it's kind of it's kind of like improv, kind of, right?
It's improv-y. It's rooted in everything else that's already existed.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right.
But everything is. You know? Yeah. I mean, I've never gone to clown college, but I have that stupid magic character that I do.
Sure.
And I remember doing it in New York once, and after the show, like a couple of people went, so you went to clown school, huh? And I went, no, what do you mean? That was like a clown character.
Right.
I went, oh, well, I guess it is, yeah. Because it's a ridiculous costume, and it's,
right.
Yeah.
And Chips Clooney was doing that too.
Chips Clooney, right.
Yeah, you guys, did you ever do it together? Like the magic act thing? No.
When I did we did a pilot on Comedy Central with Louis.
Oh, okay.
And it's a show that we were doing in New York.
Oh, right.
At the UCB there, was it? I think so.
I don't know.
And he didn't want me to do a couple of the tricks that were kind of similar to him, but I wasn't thinking of him at all.
Oh, that's so funny.
But he said, you can't do that. So I had to come up with like two other magic type of things.
Yeah.
You know, his thing, he would have the glass on the table.
Yeah.
And he would cover it with a cloth like this, and then just hit it away with his hand.
Right.
And I think I had something like that. And he just went, can you not do anything? I went, why? How? I can't minimize. I could minimize it as much as I can.
Yeah. Cool.
We went and saw a professional magician, but it was at a church. So you had to watch this amazing magic show, and then the last 20-ish minutes were like a full sermon.
No.
It's like, wait a second. You can't lead with witchcraft and then trick us into the word. Like,
oh man. What about all the, I guess they're feeling like maybe their popularity is waning or something, but Russell Brand and Mark Wahlberg finding God and.
Oh, the God on TikTok. He says, stay blessed or stay prayed up. That's what he does. He'll do it on his. Yes. He has. Because he's rich, he has his own.
He came up with a cool thing.
It's online, right? Of course, so it's on like TikTok and shit. So he shows at his own house. This is Mark Wahlberg. He's fucking rich. He has a pavilion in his house with this big giant cross, and he prays in front of it while someone videotapes him praying, and then he turns to the camera and goes, "Stay prayed up" or "Stay blessed" or whatever, one of the two. Mario Lopez does it. Sometimes they'll do it together.
Oh,
wow,
man,
that's his way of pastoring.
It's very showy. Yeah, I don't know. It's very evangelical.
That sounds like clowning, more like clowning to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's clowning.
Well, I feel like it's very leap of faith. That's all I can think of. I just see Steve Martin like Holcomb hustling, like people in a sequin blazer.
Yeah.
Like just dress it up like that. Don't make it. You know, why are we taking it away from that? That's the thing. Like we were talking about game shows, and you're talking about like Match Game, and I like that era. I love like 80s Password and things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I watch the church channel a lot too. So like there's Jimmy Swaggart revivals from the 80s and the 70s, and they all have that look. It looks like Match Game, same color schemes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything's very kind of brownish, orangish. Yeah. Everyone's hair is the same.
Yeah.
What are you? You're just recently into game shows?
I think I've been watching Match Game for a while on my phone while I do the dishes or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never me sitting down holding my phone like this.
It's in the background.
It's usually over there in the background.
Yeah.
But I hope it's not because it's there's a lot of politically incorrect stuff on the show,
Absolutely. Yeah.
which that wouldn't happen today.
Correct. Yeah.
And you kind of put some things in perspective, especially me, because I've been around for a little while, and I watch the show, and they'll say something about women or whatever, and it goes right past me, and then I think, wow, that would never be said today.
Yeah.
That would never be said
Well,
today.
and Match Game, though, is such a suggestive show. Like, the
I
whole
know.
premise of that is to be like
Yeah.
somewhat
Yeah.
suggestive. I love Charles Nelson Riley. There's a clip not from Match Game, but from him on a sitcom where someone he yells at him, and he has a flower right there. Yells, and he goes, "Madam, not in front of my carnation." Which I'm like, I love that.
That's funny to me. Like the people too that you thought were funny but didn't realize that they were gay. Like,
Totally.
at the time, like I didn't know that Paul Lynn, or I guess I didn't know about people being gay. You know?
Right.
No, I didn't I remember
Until I
him from
went to college and started dating a lot of gay guys.
Laura's early sexual prowess was what we call gay conversion therapy, right?
Yeah.
You were working for the other team.
Yeah.
Churches should hire you.
I know. I used to have.
Is your son gay? Send him to Laura's house.
I know. I used to have a bit about that you're not gay. Like I was a TCA agent for gay people. That you're not gay until you go through me first at the airport. Yeah, but there was somebody that I was just thinking, like, even I didn't know that Freddie Mercury or any of those guys were.
My favorite thing about Queen is because they're super popular, right?
Yeah.
And they have wide appeal. They're not niche necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Night at the Opera is one of the greatest albums ever. I cannot get over that record. But I feel like Freddie Mercury tricked a bunch of straight guys into liking him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he's bisexual, right? So he's not fully gay. But like, think of a man with an earring and who dies of AIDS, and in the 80s, convincing all those straight guys that it's okay to like him.
Yeah, and the name of the band is Queen.
Queen,
but you
of
don't
all
even
things.
put it. You don't even put it together.
It's so literal and subversive at the same time. I just love that era. I feel like people are too. I don't know.
Yeah.
I go back far enough where in high school, I don't even know who was gay. I don't
Yeah.
know
Well,
who
they
was
weren't.
gay in high school. Maybe
Yeah.
they weren't.
Or
right?
they couldn't be.
Right.
Yeah.
And
In
then
my
slowly doing theater at college, you know,
Yeah.
you start realizing some people are really theatrical.
Yeah, it's theatrical.
Yeah.
I remember my mom dating this guy, and I mean back then too. Like gay men were just bachelors. Like
Right.
she was seeing this
Right.
and I was like, Mom, how come? Tom has never bent married? I don't know. He's just he's been busy with because her friend fixed up her friend's brother went out with my mother, and he was just really nice and whatever. And it's just been a bachelor. That's all. That's all we knew.
a bachelor covered in turquoise jewelry wearing linen.
No, he just dressed really plain. I don't know what. Yeah.
Right? A bachelor with a doll collection.
Yeah. Yeah, who somehow owned an antique store that has something to do with it. I don't know why.
Right?
Yeah, but that's so crazy.
When you were talking about clown and clowning, all I could think of was my grandmother was a huge Red Skelton fan, and she had the prints of the Red Skelton clowns hanging in her house.
Wow.
And then she had one,
Oh, yeah.
like a case, which is just a glass case. Now that I think about it, it's so bizarre. But like a showcase
Right.
that had clown dolls, like
Figurines.
porcelain.
Yeah,
Figurines.
yeah.
They weren't even
Yeah,
dolls. Yeah, those that would like rotate and shit.
Did he make them or no?
No, the
Yeah.
paintings she had were Red Skelton, like prints
Yeah.
or whatever.
Was that kind of scary?
100% scary because
Yeah.
when you visit their house, we're on the inflatable mattress on the floor in the living room, so you're surrounded by the clowns. But then the crazy thing was they had lava lamps. They were Vegas people. They were so strange, but they were
yeah.
in their 70s. You know, when they would
Yeah.
still
yeah.
fire up a lava lamp in the room, which was exciting. And I'll never forget. We showed up at their house the night that Paul Rubens was arrested, which was a media storm. But when his mug shot was so different than his Pee Wee character, which was how people knew him, right?
Crap, yeah.
So, and as a kid, that was a striking contrast. And that's when they showed it. And I remember it was me on the inflatable mattress with the lava lamp and the fucking clowns. And now Pee Wee looks like this, you know? It was like nothing
yeah.
felt secure anymore. I was like, where am I? What am I doing?
Man.
Did you know Paul Rubens?
He's somebody who I met at the what is it called? It's a theater that the people that run the Magic Castle.
Oh.
It's Brookledge, and then it's in their house.
Wow.
It is a small little like vaudeville theater.
Cool.
Whoa. Where is it? In Santa Monica? I think I've heard about this.
I think it's north.
Then they're really
Hollywood,
a wealthy couple.
Well, they were. Well, I think the two people that ran the Magic Castle have passed away.
One guy just died.
And I might be wrong.
One of the guys just died.
Oh yeah. And the theater was great, and it's just by invitation.
Yeah.
And it's just a bunch of kind of semi-famous people and a whole bunch. And Paul Rubens would go there all the time. So I got really excited that I could actually meet him. So I
you
performed
did
that
meet
night,
him?
and he thought it was good. And
Wow.
I got to meet him.
That's cool.
Yeah, he did not talk in the voice.
No.
Yeah, of course not.
What was his voice like though? Similar.
It was even higher.
No. Wouldn't that be great?
Impossibly high.
Yeah.
When's the last time you watched Pee-wee's Playhouse?
Oh,
It's so good.
I know. It's amazing.
It really like stands the test of time. It is singular. It has its own. And the other thing is that from the jump, they have a clear mission statement. Like they really do though. There's not a people fumble the first few, whatever. I'm so locked into his show.
And
was pretty
Lawrence
great.
Fishburne was the cowboy. Right?
He's Cowboy Curtis, and Phil Hartman was in the club show, but I don't think he's in the TV show. Right? He doesn't make it to the TV show. But there's one more super famous person on there. I forget. Anyway, I was obsessed with it. Yeah, there's one more. No, you need to watch it. It's so good. I remember watching it as a kid and being like, this is what drugs are going to be like.
Oh, I know who was on. It was Mousy Brown. It was
Julie Brown?
No, not. It was the character that was like Jackie Brown, but she like was really passive aggressive. And
Do you remember?
I'm going to take your money, but unless you don't have it, when's a good time?
What?
I'm kidding.
Do you remember?
I'm making up a character. No.
Do you remember when there were two Julie Browns at the same time?
Yeah.
That was Downtown Julie Brown and then just Julie Brown. Who I thought I thought white Julie Brown was actually Judy Tenuta. So every time I saw Julie Brown, I would get really excited, and then slowly I put it together. I was like, wait, where is she? She's not funny. But I always thought they were the same.
Well, this is filtered out.
Why?
Let's call it a day. Ron, when if this comes out in 2 weeks, well, anyway, we can always, people can find your show. Are you ron.com or what is it? Tomorrow night.
God, I wish you were ron.com. That's a good one.
You know what I mean?
I don't want anybody looking at the internet to find out about my show.
Oh, okay. So,
Is there a mailing list people could get on? Is there like a, do you have a pigeon?
Ron Lynch. Well, Tomorrow with Ron Lynch is an Instagram site.
great.
Yes. And it's at the Elysian Theater
Yay.
every Saturday at midnight, 1944 Riverside Drive.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Do you know that musician Jan Deck in Texas? He's a musician and he refuses to have any modernity. He has a P.O. box. And that's how he gets booked and sells his record and everything like
Wow.
I love
that.
that.
Defiant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's cool.
Good luck to him.
Well, just when you listed the physical address, I was like, I don't think I've heard someone give me a physical direction without just telling me to go myself and look it up, you know?
I always add it to anything I do on the internet too.
Address?
The address, yeah.
Or go yourself.
That's great.
I do both. Yeah, I do both.
That's my signage. I hope this email finds you well. Go yourself, Ron.
Right. If you need the address, go for yourself.
Thanks for coming.
Oh, are we done? Are we
Yeah.
finishing up?
Yeah.
Oh, because I had something to say.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, we want to know.
Oh, I don't really.
Come on, tell us a
I
secret.
do not.
Ron, tell us a secret.
I don't. A secret. Wow.
That was too much pressure. Sorry.
No,
yeah.
here's what I
No,
think.
there's too many.
Too many
things.
secrets.
As when someone says, can you keep a secret? When you're a kid, that's like a bond. That's I like this boy, or I like the, or so-and-so's, and it's kind of something sweet. But now it's just you have to say no. I can't keep a secret because it's going to be something awful. It's going to be something about somebody fucking somebody's husband.
Oh, right. Yeah. Instead of can you keep a secret, it's like, do you want to hear some really bad news?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly.
that,
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want that.
Okay. So keep
Guilt
your bad
on
news to
myself.
yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Ron.
You're welcome. I
Thank you.
appreciate it. I had a
Yeah.
good time. I don't know what the concept of this podcast is, but it was great.
Concept?
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
You're overestimating us.
Just friends.
Yeah, we're just friends. Who needs a concept?
Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
Bye. Laura's already
See
gone.
my show.
Bye.
Bye.